This week I have a very interesting story to share with you, a true story about something that on its face may seem kind of boring. And what we're really talking about this week is setting your client's expectations on a case before you take it for them, and especially before you take the money, because by the time you give them the results, it's too late at that point. Let's take a look at this clip. It's right out of my Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Surveillance, and then afterwards I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. When you do surveillance, you're not going to catch everything. It's almost impossible. I have firsthand knowledge of a SWAT case where SWAT was following a serial robber. They didn't have enough information or evidence to prosecute the guy, so they were following him, waiting for him to commit another crime. Sure enough, one day they follow him and he goes into a shop. They set up around the shop and wait. He comes out, gets in his car, and goes to his house. A little while later, SWAT finds out from the main channel the police department was working on, that the shop had actually been robbed. They were actually very surprised. Not only had been robbed, but the guy had squeezed off a round in the course of the robbery. They didn't even know it. A short time later, SWAT came into the man's house. They found all of the evidence they needed, including the cash that he had taken and the handgun. But my point is, when you're doing surveillance, you're not going to catch every little thing, and a client shouldn't expect that. All right, I can promise you that is exactly, perfectly, for really true, exactly what happened. Now, the point of sharing that with you is not in case your client squawks with you when you deliver a report for you to say, well, there was this one time a SWAT team missed it. No, that doesn't help you at all. What you need to do is you have to make sure that your client's expectations, what you're going to give them, what the report is going to look like, what the video might look like. You give them that ahead of time. Because if you're talking about repeat clients, your human resources departments or law firms, they know the work you do. They know what to expect from a private investigator. Clients off the street, they don't understand that. All they have to go by is television and movies, and that ain't even close to reality. So if you think about a repeat client like a law firm, and you're going to give them a background check that includes a criminal history listing, right? They understand you're going to give them whatever it is you've agreed to, but repeatedly you've done this work, so you're going to give them what they've been charged with and the disposition, that's guilty, not guilty, dismissed, whatever it is. They understand that. If they need to know more, they will come back to you and pay you to get more, like the narrative report, what actually happened. Clients off the street don't understand that. When they get that report and they see that somebody was found guilty of assault, or even if the charges were dismissed, they want to know what it was, where it was, when it happened, who else was involved. And if they're not prepared ahead of time that costs extra, or if that's not the agreement going into it and you've already set that price, they're going to be very unhappy. By the way, if you need to know that blow by blow, who hit who the witnesses were standing around, what time it was, where it happened, whether, that's in the narrative report. That's public record. You can check out my public records mini course over at ShadowAnyone.com. I teach you all about how to get all those details and everything. But setting your client's expectations is very important. Also, let me point out to you, as far as just noticing things, that's what we're talking about here. And this is not important because I would have sincerely missed it myself if I were sitting where you're sitting. But I have a book behind me. Where is it? Right there. First time I've ever had that book posted. It's Fire Within by Thomas Dubay. Nothing to do with PI work, nothing to do with process serving or security work. It's a book about being a better human being, and specifically being a better Christian. I highly recommend it. It is awesome. That's Fire Within by Thomas Dubay. In the meantime, this is Larry K with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.